So, Your Honor, so what Mr. King wanted to share with the court was that he's been kind of proactive. So he says that he's completed some defensive driving courses, some anger management courses, and things like that. But we understand that the court's main concern is the alcohol. So if there is perhaps any sort of monitoring that Mr. King can have while he's out of jail, or perhaps testing, he would be agreeable to something like that. But we just don't feel like him being in jail. I personally, I don't believe that he's going to be a danger. He's got the support of his grandmother, who's here in court with us today. And like I said, he's gainfully employed, and he does have a child, and he does have a lot to lose, and he understands that, especially having
Well,
been in here.
Ms. Hunt, it's not necessarily that I think he's going to be a danger per se. The concern that I have is that he's gotten 2 subsequent charges, one of which definitely involves alcohol, since he got a DUI. And so all of these things coming into play, you can present all of this to me as the reason why I shouldn't put you in the jail, but none of that kept you from getting 2 subsequent charges after a DUI. I don't understand what's going on. Like, now I'm supposed to feel bad. Oh, he's got a 2-year-old. Well, that was your choice. Nobody told you go out there and you got pending charges and your life is probably not stable and you out here having babies. I'm not a proponent of just willy-nilly having children and then using them to try and play on the court's heartstrings, because I feel like children deserve the absolute best that we can give them. And when we just out here having them and then trying to figure it out on the back end, I'm not a proponent.
This hearing is already heading into uncomfortable territory. The judge isn't just looking at a single DUI allegation anymore. He's looking at a pattern. Defense counsel is highlighting support systems, employment, and family responsibilities, but the court is focused on something else entirely: accountability. When a defendant picks up multiple new charges while already facing legal trouble, judges tend to view promises very differently. What matters more here, potential or proven behavior?
Of that. And I see your grandmama sitting back there with her hands over her face, praying for you and everything. And I think that's a good thing. But I think that you need to take some personal responsibility. You're 25, you've chosen to have a child and become a parent, but you also have committed, allegedly, you have 3 different pending cases, not charges. You got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pending charges before the court, and over the course of 2 years. And so I don't understand why I should now let you out again and risk you getting another charge. Because if you stay in jail, you'll come up next on the trial calendar. We can go ahead and try these cases and get them done. We can try them back to back to back.
The judge has just identified the central issue in this case. It's not whether Mr. King has family support or even whether he has a child depending on him. The concern is risk. Courts often weigh public safety and future compliance heavily when deciding release conditions. Hearing that there are multiple pending charges over a relatively short period clearly raises red flags. At this moment, the defense is fighting an uphill battle against the defendant's own record.
So, well, 1 second, Your Honor. Your Honor?
Yes, ma'am.
If I could just say one last thing on behalf of Mr. King. Your Honor, obviously we still would like for him to be released, but I know that Your Honor is concerned about alcohol. Mr. King hasn't had any infractions involving alcohol or any issues with alcohol, at least since April of 2022. So it's going on almost 2 years.
August of 2022.
Well, I think the last case involving alcohol, Your Honor, was the one ending in 0297, is my understanding.
You go tell me he was stone cold sober when he went over there to the same person from the April incident? All right, I'm gonna let you have that one.
Thank you, Your Honor. But So, Your Honor, Mr. King and his grandmother was also kind of chiming in as well. Let me know that there aren't any concerns, at least we don't believe that there are any concerns that the court should have about alcohol. He's kind of been on the straight and narrow for over the last year. And so we would like the opportunity for him to get out of jail and kind of fight these charges from the outside. Because he does maintain with me that he's not guilty on all of the cases. And that's kind of what I was trying to explain to him as to why we won't go into the details of that here today as to what happened in each of those cases. But without doing that, he does want the court to release him.
All right. If I release him, he's going to test every 2 weeks for substances. If he misses a test, he comes back to jail.
This is a major turning point. Instead of outright denying release, the judge creates a strict accountability framework. Regular substance testing every 2 weeks means the court is giving Mr. King an opportunity, but it comes with immediate consequences for any violation. Miss a test or fail one, and jail becomes a real possibility again. That's a common judicial strategy, balancing rehabilitation and supervision while keeping public safety concerns front and center.
If he tests positive, he comes back to jail.
That's fine, Your Honor.
All right, draw up the order.
Thank you.
He'll go to he'll make an appointment with the probation office, and he'll test every 2 weeks. He misses if he misses a test, he's coming back to jail. If he tests positive, he's coming back to jail for any substance, alcohol or anything else.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right. You can go back with the sheriff's office, Mr. King. He's not to have any contact, no contact, not social media, not text message, phone, nothing with Frazier, K.N. Frazier. Any contact with her, he comes back to jail.
Thank you, Your Honor.
That's the baby mama, I take it.
Yes, Your Honor, that's correct.
Okay, no, still, because I'm assuming that he hasn't married this woman or legitimized that child.
Not to my knowledge, Your Honor.
We're going to start doing stuff the right way. Until those things happen, he is not the legal parent of that child. If folk just want to come out here and just be having babies, that's on them. But understand the situation it puts you in when you don't have those things in place. And so, no, he's not to have any contact with the baby, not through the grandmother. The grandmother can't call her. No, y'all can't see the baby unless unless the Superior Court of Clayton County or the court where the baby resides decides that there's a visitation that has been set up due to a legitimation petition that has been filed. So this is the sacrifice you're gonna make. When we start doing things the right way, then we don't have these issues. But no contact with K.N. Frazier or the child of K.N. Frazier. No, Grandma, no. Come on up, ma'am. See, your grandson is in this situation because somebody's always taken up for him, and he's not getting responsibility for the things he's doing.
I understand that, Your Honor, and thank you for allowing me to speak. But what we did, his mother and I, when they were having their spats, we only go pick up the baby now, or me or his mother.
And you shouldn't have to do that because they should be grown enough. If they're grown enough to have a baby, they should be grown enough to co-parent. But anytime the grandmama and the mama have to get involved in transporting the baby because they can't get along, that tells me that they're immature and shouldn't have had the baby in the first place. So he needs to grow up. And no, I'm not going to facilitate that. No, ma'am.
Well, actually, it was his idea.
I don't care.
Not to have the interaction.
I don't care. He had a baby with that woman. If he can't now co-parent with her, that tells me something about the fact that they shouldn't have even had a baby together. So no, y'all can't have any contact with her until such time as that baby is legitimized through the courts.
And what court do you do that?
Superior Court. And that's not your job, ma'am. That's his job.
What started as a bond discussion has now evolved into a much broader conversation about responsibility, parenting, and independence. The judge is clearly sending a message that extends beyond this defendant alone. Whether viewers agree or disagree with the tone, the court is emphasizing personal accountability over family intervention. Here's a question for you. Does strong family support help people avoid mistakes? Or can too much support sometimes prevent them from facing consequences?
I just like to have the information.
I get that, but we are raising trifling men. We're doing so much for them that we're not raising men. We're raising little boys that some other woman is going to be burdened with taking care of. Even when if he gets back with Kay and Frazier, she going to have to do everything for him because you and his mama are coddling him. There was a time in this country where once you left your parents' house, you were responsible and you had to make your way and be responsible. Every successful person I know, including myself, you get from your parents instructions when you finish high school. Hey, I don't know what you're going to do. College, military, work, but you can't live here. And we are so busy coddling. I know he has a place now, but we're so busy coddling, especially young men. We seem to be wanting to raise women to be responsible. You got to go out and get a job. You got to do this. You got to do that. But parents continue to coddle these young men. And so they end up not being responsible for themselves or anybody else. He's a parent now, so he's grown. So anything that happens on his behalf or his child's behalf, he has to handle it. Y'all need to stop stepping in.
I respect what you just said, but in the case
No buts.
He stepped in and is taking care of her daughter that is 4.
So
and my family and everybody that knows him respects him as a good father. So I cannot let it be said that he's not a good parent.
I didn't say he wasn't a good parent. I said they weren't mature enough to co-parent.
I recognize that, but I do want it to be on record that he is.
No, I didn't say he wasn't a good parent, and there is a path to him being able to parent his child. I told you what it is. But what I'm saying to you is you and his mama can't live his life for him. And as long as y'all are doing for him, then he won't be able to do for himself.
Thank you for that, Your Honor.
I'm just saying you recognize what I'm saying. When you left your parents' house, how old were you?
18.
And did they say you never went back, did you?
Never went back.
Okay, this man is 25, and I'm gonna tell you what my grandmother said. My grandmother raised 13 children, and you know what she said? She said, I have never had to stand bond for any of them. But you know what she also said? If you do something, don't call me. She's right. I raised you to be responsible. I raised you to do the things that you should know how to do. And so of her 13 children, none of them had to stand in a courtroom or call come get them or call my grandfather to come get them because I've raised you. So now you're on your own to be responsible the way I taught you to be. And we have gotten so far away from that. We got kids now telling their parents off, taking their parents' vehicles, hitting and interacting with their parents in such negative ways. But at a minimum, we're not raising children to be responsible. At 18, your parents said, that's it. And you went out and you made your way. And you look reasonably successful. Now, I don't know you, but you don't look like you're struggling. And what I'm telling you is until you let somebody get out there and do what they need to do, and you looking at me in this role, but I'm gonna tell you right now, when I went to college, my parents was like, okay, you made it into college. All those student loans, I had to pay. When I went to law school, I had to pay. I was working 2 jobs in college and going to school, 2 jobs and going to school. There have been other times in my life when I worked 2 jobs and gone to school. So what I'm saying to you is he can do if y'all step out of the way and make him do it. But don't keep coddling him and we gonna facilitate seeing the baby and we gonna make sure because y'all can't co-parent because y'all fighting each other that we gonna make it easy to go back and forth. Go to court. He can go to court, set up a visitation schedule and get a superior court judge to determine how this is gonna happen. But in all things, he's gonna be a parent for the rest of his life. So if he can't get it right now at the beginning when it's easy, it's not going to get any easier. It's not.
And with all due respect, Your Honor, I don't condone. I didn't help you get into a mess. I can't help you get out, but I do support helping you through it. That's the way I look at it with my kids and my grandkids.
I got you. But what I'm saying to you is remember how you made it. And people think it's harsh. But when your parents said, you 18 now, you on your own, you might have struggled. But right now, if you face with any situation in your life, you're going to figure out how to get it, how to make it work.
Yeah.
Because you've had that experience. We don't let our kids struggle. So when they get out there, the first thing they're going to do is turn back to mama. What am I going to do now? Well, if you struggled when you first got out there and made your way and realized you got to work, you got to pay bills, you got to find a place to stay, you got to maintain a place to stay. When you do those things, it makes you responsible and able to handle whatever challenge comes your way. But as long as the parents are stepping in and keeping these 20-something, I even give a little grace for the 20s, but the 30s, the 40s, I got parents who carrying these people on their back and they're coming in and raising discord in their households. We have got to stop coddling these young men. He went out there, he had a baby. So if he's chosen to give up his 20s and his carefree lifestyle to be a parent, then he's got to do what it takes to do it right. And if that means going to court and legitimizing his child, getting the money up to do what he needs to do, then he needs to do that. But nobody's telling him to go out here and just have babies without thinking about the consequences of what that means.
So is the birth certificate not legitimate?
No, ma'am. I can't tell you because I don't do that kind of law. But what I can tell you is generally, no, you don't sign in the birth certificate does not legitimize a child. It may be biologically acknowledged as his child, but under the law, no, not until they were married at the time of the child's birth or within a certain period of time after the child's birth, or they go through the legitimation process in the superior court where the child resides.
Okay.
This hearing ultimately became about far more than release conditions. The judge imposed strict testing requirements, ordered no contact with the child's mother, and repeatedly stressed that adulthood comes with legal and personal responsibilities. The broader message was that support from family cannot replace personal accountability. Whether viewers agree with every comment or not, the court made its position unmistakably clear. If you found this case as intense as we did, make sure to hit that like button, share your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe for more powerful courtroom breakdowns.
So, I'm just saying, and I understand you and mama want to help him and y'all want to see the baby. Y'all might have to take some time, but y'all can't contact this woman on his behalf.
So we missed Christmas. I still have her stuff.
Okay, the baby will get it. The baby don't know it's Christmas. It's 2 year old. She'll get it when she gets it.
Thank you.
All right.